Welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah. And today we really would love for you to engage in the chat. Whatever questions you have, let them show up and we'll get back to you. So this is the Influence Mastery series. We talk about influence, how to shape outcomes that matters. We have been taking a group of 8 women through 5 weeks intensive around really influencing. What does it mean? And today we're going to bring it home. Like, what was the last part of this journey of 5 weeks? What happened and what are the outcomes that we're seeing happening as a result of being in this sandbox of really playing in a safe place, bringing it out into the real world, being held in a container with people who really wants you to succeed because every single person in the room know that you play a very important role in the world that we're operating in. So that is what we're doing. So we're going to bring it home today and share a bit more details also around what are the ways of which you can participate in this. But Vorian, bring it home.
Thank you, Rita. Well, first of all, I wanted to say that I was a little bit overwhelmed actually by the feedback that we got and the overwhelm of, oh, wow, this shifted for me and this shifted for me. And I love this part and so on because, well, I was emotionally overwhelmed because this is so meaningful for me. It's so important. And I really want to see women shift into something bigger than themselves in the sense that we are moving from being afraid, being scared of asking, and then suddenly just moving into this person that is starting to take charge. And that gives me so much hope and also personal meaning of why am I doing this? And so this was really, really beautiful. And then also all of these questions that we are asking people to ask us here, but there were questions all the time asked. What do I do with this? What do I do with that? And that also proves so much that yes, we need the help. We need to ask questions, and every situation is new all the time because we are meeting new people on the other side. Yeah, so the situations will change, but the more we learn the skills and the things and give a repertoire, so to speak, of things that we can do, we will be able to adapt more to the situation.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, what many of the women said. I suddenly see that I have options, yeah, that I can deal with things in different ways.
I think one of the key things that really stood out for me is like, oh my word, what is it costing us to not do this? And again, when I'm seeing it's like even in a short span of 5 weeks, there is a before and after in this. And there is an element of speed, there's an element of confidence, there's an element of clarity. I think clarity was one of the words that came up over and over. Like I'm more clear because it's almost like I see how things hangs together from who am I being to who am I being in any situation, and then what is the result that comes out of it, and knowing oneself. So what is it costing us when we are not aware of these mechanisms that we are bringing into this influence mastery training? One is the financial cost, like it actually costs. What is the financial cost of an organization to not have uh, the leaders in the most powerful place to go in and do this, and then the cost for ourselves to hold back. And one of the things I also want to share is not only holding like I'm scared, I'm this and that. We have had women talk about like I don't want to be perceived. My influence is so big. Like actually, women who would putting themselves back and playing themselves smaller because they're scared of their impact is too much. So they're not scared of like that, but they're scared of their own power. And we need to break through that.
Yes. And also being afraid of being perceived as difficult, because this is a typical thing of women, because this is how we are being conditioned. Yeah.
Mm.
So all of these things also play in. And one of the shifts that we had, for example, is this woman that leads teams all the time and big teams, and then she has people that might not be performing or need to be talked with. And this tying back to what we said the first day, what stands in our way? Well, a lot of times ourselves stand in the way. Yeah. So we are having these conversations with somebody that is not performing, but at the same time we are afraid of how we will be perceived, how they are going to feel, how are they going to feel, how are they going to take this, and we get very much entangled into the one-on-one conversation, and we forget to anchor this conversation into, well, the bigger outcome. What does this mean for the whole team? What does this mean for the full outcome of this work that we are doing? And anchoring that into the larger ask, to the larger outcome, and having this conversation in in that context
Yeah.
makes that conversation very different.
Mm.
And we also can then be ourselves, know that there is a personal relationship in this, but it is anchored in a bigger context. And that also shifts a lot. And this shifted for this participant, where she could then handle these conversations very differently and with the lightness of putting them into context.
Yeah, and I think in that particular situation, what's interesting is that this is something that has been ongoing for years. Like it's a default mechanism operating as unconscious behavior, right? This is how we do it. And through this awareness of seeing that, oh, I make it personal instead of I'm actually stepping up for the almost the justice of the team of everyone and also being of service of this person, things shift. And now you don't get the same answers because you're asking very different questions. So things shifted. But we had
Yeah.
another one as well. Talking about stepping into new positions and leaderships and these things. Can you talk to that a bit as well? Um,
Yes, here we have a person that is knows everything about the subject. I mean, is a real authority in her field, and so when she was going to move up to a higher position, a leadership position in the company, that wasn't from a technical skills, knowing her world, that was not a problem at all. A no-brainer for her to show up with that authority. But then when it was moved into, well, what do I need? What team do I need? You know, what will it look like for me to lead this and have this position in the company? And also, of course, the remuneration package and all of that that comes with it. Then suddenly it became personal. Like, okay, now I have to ask something for myself. And that suddenly, that powerful woman that knew everything about this, was really strong, had the authority, suddenly became a very small person that didn't dare to ask for almost anything to back up that person that was there.
yeah,
And how this shifted, that suddenly that authority woman that knew everything about this could also stand in. And for me to actually do all of that, well, I also need this salary, this team, this, etc., etc. And that makes a really big difference from bringing that authority into your personal ask as well.
yeah. I find that is really powerful. And I think because again, what we saw is that we are also talking about the health and the future of the organization and the team. So when they're negotiating on behalf of something that is seemingly about themselves, No, it is actually for the health and the results of this organization, that this is what it will take for me to deliver on what you want from me and beyond. And I think one of the insights that I had when she was sharing, or the insight she had, was that the person, who am I being when I'm talking about the subject matter, was so powerful. And remember, from the first live we were running, and which is the first part of the series, is who am I being? What deeply matters to me? Why is this important to me? Right? And and in this case, she was being in something that was important for her, and this is the subject matter. And I know what I'm talking about. That energy is very contagious and like calming for the nervous system of an organization to hear
Mm.
what they're going about. And that is then what the insight was, that what if I come from the same energy when I'm stepping into, and this is what I'm asking. This is what I want, including this is the salary, benefits, whatever, because eventually that is benefiting the company. So this is not, we're not talking about being a resource for the company. We are talking about being an asset. Do you see yourself as an asset for the company and negotiate on behalf of being an asset? Or are you a resource that will eventually be drained and go dry? That is what we're talking about. And it was incredible to see her shift.
Absolutely. And having that shift and having that energy, as you say, she is going to perform at 150% in the company because she feels valued. And
Absolutely.
she stood up for herself. She feels valued. She's gotten a deal that she wants to have, and she can then work knowing that she got what she asked for her person.
Yeah,
And not having that in an organization when there is going to be a difference between that personal ask and what I can deliver from an intellectual point of view, when there is not an alignment in that, as you say, this person is going to break down or feel demotivated. Um, a lot of things are going to come from that are not going to work.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about the program itself, or this is so it's an inflammatory series. It's the beginning of a longer series that we're working on. This is the 5 week intensive program,
Yes.
and it's a vital part of what we're doing. Um, we're already in motion, and the invitation is for those of you who feel this lands and want to participate. This is not for anyone. This is not for you who think that you go in and you learn from studying the subject and all these things. This is not for you. This is for you who want to say, I want to play real. I want to be in the sandbox. I want to see, and I want to bring in my stuff. I'm not as a participant who sit on the side and observe all the others. I'm actually, no, I'm doing this for myself, and I'm in there with another group. So that is it, who is it for? And we actually have a lot of experiences and fun doing this. And that is
Yeah.
what we're inviting you into, right? Um, share a bit about the program from your side, Vorian.
Yes, I also want to say that what is really important here is to know that the world is we are not going to change the world in that sense. We are going to change how we operate in the world, and that is going to allow us to have influence into the world. But we will still meet resistance. We will still meet difficult situations. Those are not going to go away, but we are going to be able to influence those difficult situations. We are going to be able to move forward in these situations.
Yeah.
And I think that that is really important to realize that the world is not going to get easier in a sense, but it's going to be feel easier inside ourselves. We are going to deal with the resistance from a very different point of view and from a very different being.
Yeah.
So we need to be willing to look at how am I actually meeting the world today?
Yeah.
And can I meet the world in a different way that is going to make it easier for me and the world to receive my ideas?
Yeah.
And that is what the program is all about. And building that resilience, building that strength, and then ultimately building the capabilities of influencing.
Yeah, yeah, it is definitely to build a kind of a muscle, but
Mm,
it's also to maneuver in a beautiful way. Um,
yeah.
and I think what we'll see is that when we're influencing, when we're doing this, going through these 5 weeks, and you're starting to be aware of yourself, some of the things that can also shift for you is that you will see that you have an incredible opportunity to influence every single day. And
In every interaction we
every
have,
interaction. Yeah.
even in the hello at the coffee, there is a difference. And also, now going into more spiritual myself, but actually how we show up energetically changes the room, changes the communication. And we know that if we are a little bit down, tired, and we move, our body language changes with our emotional being. So we, it really shifts a lot, even if we don't see it, because there is a big shift in it, really.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, we are starting on the 8th of September. You are invited to reach out to us, send us a DM, being curious about it. Also send a link. You will share a link where you can see all the details. And we really encourage you to have a conversation with Vorian or myself. If you feel,
Yes,
is this a thing? Is this for your organization? We have other clients who this is the it is from as a leader in an organization that is participating, meeting a great community of other women. So I want
yeah,
to let you know that we are here for you, ready to have that
yes,
conversation. Um,
yes,
and if you feel that you want to and you feel that something's standing in the way, let us know. So we might be able to
yes,
help you. Or even you see that, yeah, no, it wasn't for now. It's for the future. That's okay too. Yeah.
yes.
Thank you, Vorian. I'm excited to start this over again.
Yes, me too. Very excited. Yeah, I'm excited to meet more women and meet them where they are at and take them through a very exciting journey and see what can shift.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
With that, have a beautiful day and let's stay connected.
Bye for now.